Hello YouTube friends. Can you see me above all of these boxes and things that I've just put on the table? This is just some of my boxes of fabric scraps, and I'm getting them out this morning because I've been given a particularly wonderful project to get involved with. As you may know, we're coming up for the 75th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II being on the throne here in the UK. It's going to be her Jubilee weekend coming up soon. And I was really pleased that some people from the Tate Britain, which is the most amazing collection of art in London, got in touch with me to ask me if I would do a little collaboration with them. I was a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. And so we had a little bit of backwards and forwards via Zoom and by email. And what they've asked me to do is just do a sort of commemoration of this event by making something that I would normally make anyway, but inspired by one of the artworks in the Tate Britain. Now, it's years since I was there, years. And the Tate Modern is a place that I like to visit as well. In fact, there's some fantastic galleries in London, but the people in charge of this project sent me a few references to artworks that might actually help me to formulate my ideas for this project. And the one that I chose is this one. I wonder if you can see it. I'll put a closer picture of it on the screen for you. It's by an artist called Heron. And the reason why I chose it, apart from the fact that it's beautiful, I very much like all the colours in it. I think I immediately saw how I could use this when I saw this artwork. It's called Azalea Garden, and this artist lived in Cornwall at the time of painting this picture. And the reason why I chose it, apart from I love the image, but it was painted in 1956, which is the year I was born. It was painted in May 1956, and we're right in May now. So 66 years ago, Heron was painting this in Cornwall. I really like that. So, hi Anna, come on in.
Hey.
Come and say hi.
Oh.
So,
Hello.
Anna's come in, Anna, a second.
The cash
Here.
and seat. Ah, thank you.
It might be cold to be outside.
That's all right.
In a bit. Gandalf, Bilbo. Looking at this lovely picture, Azalea Garden by
Colours are so nice.
Heron. How I decided to approach it was I'm going to get all my immediate scraps. This is not my entire stash by any means, but all my bits and pieces of fabric, and we're going to make some bunting to decorate the pavilion. That's what this is for. But I'm going to just, looking at the picture, I'm just going to choose randomly all these little bits and pieces of fabric, and if they look like they fit in, they get put into the pile in the middle.
Yeah, that was perfect. All the colours.
Perfect. Okay, so do you want to spend a minute or two doing that, Anna?
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter where you get them from, there's our reference right there.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool. But it's
No.
not, it's too much. I like that yellow though.
I do. So just a second, just let's move those over here because they're possibles. All right, so we'll have a no pile and a yes pile, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a yes, that's in the yes pile. This is Tula Pink's one of her range, and I used this for the back of a quilt last year and have a bit left over. If we do it like that, we're going to be here a long time. But would you say that one fits in? If we look at this lovely picture here, it's got some of these lovely oranges over here.
Do you think? I think it's a bit too vibrant.
Orange. Too orange.
Yeah.
Okay, too orange.
Because the colours in this one are much
They
more
might
muted.
be kind of muted, aren't
Yeah.
they? Okay.
You're going to struggle with.
I am going to struggle with muted because there's not a lot. Well, you have that
Look
box
at that
then,
one.
and we'll have our reference there, just
Yeah.
there, so we can see it. And I did wonder about these Indian fabrics.
Yeah, that's the first thought I had.
Okay, so we're going to put not too many because I don't want it to become just that one actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, And maybe that
The
one.
green, yeah.
Maybe the green. Okay, so we'll put that one in. So my plan is to make bunting. And to that end, let me see if I can find it under here. Now, this is what happens when you get a load of things on the table. There. I think if I follow that strap, there we go.
I think I've got the cake cassette box.
Yeah, you
Which
have.
isn't going to really go with that picture,
Well,
is it?
not really, but if you keep digging down, you keep digging down, you'll find them.
Yeah.
Some years ago, I had some of this lovely cotton tape that I dyed with all sorts of different colours, especially to make bunting with. And I still have some of it left. If you remember the bunting I made for the polytunnel, I used all the green for that one. And I'm thinking that this little... what do you think about that for the header for the bunting?
Yeah.
Kind of works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So we're going to make the bunting on that. That's too bright. That orange is quite nice. Too purple. The yellow's quite nice as well. No, I think that one.
Yeah.
So I'll pop that to one side. We've chosen the header tape then. So are you going to find this an interesting little project, Hannah? Do it quite quickly and intuitively.
I'm trying. I'm rejecting them all, though.
And remember that it's all got to go back in a box somewhere.
Yes.
Oh, it's lovely because you keep finding fabrics. Well, for me anyway, because I keep finding fabrics that I haven't thought about in ages. Oh, she's found one. She's put it on the pile.
Is this going to be like when someone goes to a hoarder's house and they sort through stuff, and then after they leave, the hoarder goes?
Yes, that's exactly what it's
gets all
going to
the
be like.
boxes
Exactly.
of cinnamon back out.
Exactly.
Tinfoil.
Exactly. Speaking of boxes of cinnamon,
Uh-huh.
I cleared out all those shelves the other day,
Oh, good work.
and I got lots of stuff. You know, lots of bits and pieces. Oh, that's lovely, but it's really small. I might sew it onto something else.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I got all the spices and all the little pots and things that we collect over the years. And Martha saw them, my daughter Martha saw them just by the back door waiting to go out. And she said, Mum, do you see these caraway seeds? Yeah, you can have them if you want, love. She said, no, she said, they're 25 years old. So I think the caraway seeds may have gone. I don't want too many of these stripes in, although I do like that one. So I've selected all these lovely fabrics now that I think sit really well with that painting, and I'm just going to give them all a really good press now, and then I'm going to decide what shape I'm going to do. Bunting can be absolutely any shape, can't it? I think though, I'm kind of thinking that I might like to make it just traditional triangular shape, so I'm going to have a look at what sort of angle it might be. I think long and thin I think might look quite good. I had the idea that I might make them all different sizes, but I think all the same size and long and thin. That might be cool. So yeah, I'm just going to press all of these now. Even little bits like that, if I really like them and they fit with the painting, they might end up in there somewhere. I might sew them together. That's a lovely one. I like that one. I wonder where that came from. And this is a bit of Anna Maria Horner, which has got some pretty daisies on it that I've left over from making John and Anna's wedding quilt, which is a long time ago now. Left over from that project. Okay then, there's a few more. Oh, this one's lovely. This one's the right colours for the project, but it's got unicorns on it. So I think it might be quite nice to have a few unicorns for the Queen. Now, am I going to make this two-sided bunting so that I turn it inside out? And I think I am, because it looks so much nicer when you do that. And it also means that you can see it from both sides, and it doesn't matter, hasn't got a back and a front. So I'm really interested in doing that, I think. We'll get these unicorns in there. And we've got some white as well, which so now that the idea is that the back and the front, it doesn't matter which one is paired with which. Oh, that's the other decision I could make. should I make one bunting out of one particular fabric for both of them, or it doesn't matter about the front and the back. So many choices, so many things to think about. I don't know. So this grunge fabric here, which is what I've done the borders of Agnes's quilt with, using the back of the fabric, I think in this case the front of the fabric is going to work really well on this bunting, so I'll iron a bit of that as well. So the next step then is to cut all these out and pair them together, and then I'll go over to the sewing machine and get a production line going. That's a nice one. It's got little hearts on. That's very pretty. I can't remember what I used that for. But isn't that the best thing about a stash of fabric? Especially when you do what I've just done and pull out the right colours from all sorts of different places. What that means is you get to see projects that you worked on years ago and maybe can't remember why you've got them in your stash. I can't remember that one. But it's lovely. It fits in with this painting really well. A couple more. That's a nice one. Again, that fits in well. Just a small piece. And then we looked at this Indian fabric, Anna and I, because she helped me pick some of these earlier on. And some of this Indian fabric, I don't want to have too much of this, but I think a little bit of this in there will be quite nice, because it's got the right sort of colours and that right sort of almost like a subdued colour, not too bright. Okay, now I'm going to decide the size of the bunting. And I've just got a piece of cardboard here. I'm just going to wing it. This is how I make my bunting. I'm sure there are templates, but how hard is it really to make an isosceles triangle to use as your template? So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to measure maybe 4. Right, so 4 inches there. And 4 inches maybe there. I have this quite nice big bunting, because if it's going to be hanging outside, then you need to be able to see it from a distance, don't you? So let me do this. Let's see what this is like, and then I'll get some paper scissors and cut it out. Let's see, what does that look like? The thing about making double-sided bunting, you've got to be careful you get your point nice and sharp. Well, that's this. I'll cut it out and then you'll see. So that's the size I'm thinking of, or the shape I'm thinking of. That might be a bit too acute, that angle there. It's a cute angle. It might be a bit too acute. It may be that I need to, I'll make another one that's slightly different. That's my size. That's a bit better, I think. And I've made it a little bit, I made a little bit at the top here because I'm going to be turning it over and sewing it along the top. So yeah, if we compare the two, yeah, I like that one better. Okay, so now then, I'm going to cut the fabrics out now. So that's all the fabric chosen and ironed, and now what I'm doing is cutting it out into triangles. What you can do, Anna, while you're sitting there, because they're going to be two-sided.
Yeah.
So would you like to
pair them up?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I thought you would. So if you pair them up, how I'd like you to do it is just get any old one, and that was not a good one to start with. We'll get one that's got a definite front and back.
Yeah.
And I need you to put them right sides together. So if that one's going with that one, say, then they have to go right sides together, and then I'll give you some pins and just put one pin in there.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, you do that then, and I'll just cut these some more. So the pin then, it just needs to go there like that.
All right.
All right, so that's your job, and I'll cut a few more. So yeah, we have a production line going here. It's good fun, isn't it?
It is.
It is good fun. And I made this template. I don't think I filmed this anywhere. Did I film this? I can't remember. We're filming for 3 different things here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
There's
So,
different sizes, is that fine?
oh yes, that's okay.
Yeah.
When it's slightly out like that, it's bunting. Remember, Anna?
Yes, this is true.
You know, it's not.
It is for the Tate, though.
It's bunting for the Tate.
And the Queen, like as far as bunting goes.
Oh well, all right then. It's
pretty
It's about
high.
high-end bunting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's going to be hanging quite high up, and
Yeah.
so don't worry too much about how it looks. Okay, so I'm going to. I think I'm pretty much there now, and so if you've matched them all up and you like what you've got there, that's
I like
great.
that combo.
Show us that combo. Anna likes this combo. I do too. That's really nice, isn't it? You'll see it when it's in the bunting. Now, so I've come over to the sewing machine with all of these triangles that Anna's put together for me, and I'm chain piecing them, and I'm starting one side, and then I'm going to cut them all and come back down the other side. So they look like bunting already, don't they? But there's still a ways to go before we're finished. So I'm going to bring these right back up here. Goodness me, we've made a lot. And then cut them apart and sew these other side together. And that's easier than pivoting at the point of it. What's the point of it? It's easier than doing a pivot at the point because it means that you can just keep sewing and sewing and sewing. It's always good not to stop sewing. Then I'll do the other side and we'll cut the little tip off a little and then turn them inside out. So having chain pieced all down one side, it's really easy now just to pick it up and chain piece down the other. And I'm starting at the pointed end. I don't really know why. I think I've made way more than I thought I was going to make, but then that's always my style. You know, I can't just do 5 of something when 50 would be better. So it is. More is always good though, isn't it? Over there next to the computer there's some knitting needles like this. That's the sort we want, a nice big double-ended sock needle. That'll do perfectly. Okay, so we're turning these inside out now. I'll just move along a bit, Anna, because you're not in. There we go. And so if you just do what you think you should do and I'll correct you if you're wrong. How's that?
Like,
Yeah. I don't think you can get this wrong.
challenge. And then get this lad in here and then schmo it up.
Exactly, but not too tight because I've snipped that edge there. What we don't want to do now is poke through the stitches, but you need it to look like that when you're done.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's a little bit rounded. It's bunting, Anna. I know it's the Queen's bunting.
Yeah, and the Tates.
And the Tate's bunting.
Is that not...
Yeah, you can poke that a bit more.
Yeah.
Do a bit more poking on that one, Anna.
Okay.
And why don't you put your favourite ones in a pile?
Oh, okay.
That's Anna's favourite one.
Yeah, I like that one. It might not be the absolute favourite. I like this fabric a lot.
Yes, I like that one as well. So we'll pile all these up here, and when we've got a few done...
Okay, can't get as pointy as you. Why? What am I doing wrong?
It's not my first time.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah, much. Because when I iron them, I'm going to press these in a second.
Yeah, look at that. That's a good combo.
I'm going to press these in a second, and when I press them, I'm going to turn the top in 1/4 of an inch
Okay.
so that rough edge is turned in. Okay, they're all pressed now with the tops pressed down, and the decision now is how wide apart to put them. And there's, you know, I could put them close together, I could put them far apart, but I'm going to put them around about 2 inches apart. That's what I've decided. But now I'm going to take these across to the sewing machine. I'm going to make a little loop at the end. 2 ways you could do this. You can either make a loop like that so that it fits over a hook or something, or you can just leave an extra bit to tie on, because there's not always a hook, is there? But so I'm going to make a loop. Make a loop there and then stitch these on. And so what we've done now here is put them all in an order where there aren't 2 together, so there aren't 2 that look exactly the same together like that. That's not going to happen. Okay, I'm going to go over to the sewing machine then and make that happen. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch that loop there. Get rid of my leader and ender. And they're all beautifully folded now and pressed. And all I'm going to do when I pick them up is just check that there aren't 2 the same back and front next to each other. So I've got a bit of masking tape now, and I'm going to stick it now from the needle. Let's just mock this up here to where I want. So the masking tape's going to go like that, which means that when I get to the top of the masking tape, I put the next flag in. So that's like so. We're going to put the top of the masking tape is there, and when the edge of it is there, we're going to put the next flag in. Okay, and that will mean it's nice and evenly spaced. So when this gets to the top of the masking tape there, I put the next flag in. And I'm just going to double check that we haven't got 2 the same. And I'm off. Now my only worry now is that I've got enough tape.
I can't believe how well that tape matches in.
It's
Look,
great.
From blue onto that blue one.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's like magic tape.
It's magic tape. Well, because I am a little bit of a witch, you know.
Yeah.
That's finished. We're going to go into the garden now and hang this up. And I just hope that firstly the Queen might like it, and secondly Patrick Heron might like it. But so far I think I really like it. So that's the bunting finished, and I had great plans to go into the pavilion and hang it outside, but it's pouring with rain. So I'm going to hang it in the kitchen instead, temporarily. I hope it doesn't rain like this for the Queen's Jubilee, but it's definitely pouring with rain out there now. How's that?
That's cool.
So I'm just going to go and get the picture. So here's Patrick Heron's picture, and here's my interpretation of it in bunting. It's great to have a big stash of fabric, because it means that when you're invited to do a project like this one, you can find all sorts of colours that will match what you want to do. So I've loved doing that. It's a shame I haven't been able to hang it outside, but I will soon. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and maybe put on your notifications bell and you'll never miss when we post. And Anna and I have made a much longer video of all of this over on Patreon, which is a bit more sort of outtakes, I'd say. So maybe you'd enjoy that. I'm going to leave all of those that information on the end card. Thanks for watching. Hello, welcome to the Last Homely House. I'm Kate and I want to show you what I'm doing for the Queen's Jubilee. I was asked to look at one of the artworks from the Tate. I loved this one by Heron, and I chose these fabrics, gave them a good press and decided to turn them into bunting. Bunting is a very lovely thing to have at a celebration. I love the sewing, the cutting, the trimming. I'm just trimming the ends off there, always accompanied by cats. Turn them inside out, give them a good press, and then stitch them onto the tape. Cats, cats, cats. I think it looks great. I hope you do too. Why not try making your own bunting inspired by art? It doesn't have to be fabric, it can be paper or any other colourful materials you have to hand. Have a great weekend.